Hi guys, and welcome to Witchcraft Criminal History. How you doing today? Hopefully you're doing well. Well, today we're doing a video on the do's and don'ts with divinational tools. Okay. Tonight someone tried to sell me an oracle deck. I'm more than happy to buy oracle decks. Buy off. I've got a nice collection as you see here. Yeah, this is my oracle deck. I'm more than willing to buy decks. However, after, viewing this thing with this deck, it was just the book. When it comes to divinational tools, especially in regards to tarot or oracle, if, for example, you got an oracle deck which you like, or your tarot deck, that you love your oracle deck, you love your tarot, and you go, right, this is all my opinion, by the way. If you don't agree with this, then that's your opinion. But anyway, you find an oracle deck and you really, really like it. But what are you going to do with the book and the box? What are you going to do? Because there's a right way and a wrong way. If you just want the cards, and I think most of us agree we like the cards are more important than the box and all that, and you want to put this in a special baggie, you can do that. You can do this. You can put this in a bag. You can put this in a special box just for the deck. By oath, you can. They do not have to remain in the box. You can have them as it is with the cards. However, that being said, you cannot do what this lady was trying to do and go on a Facebook or eBay or Etsy and just sell the book. Not a good idea, guys, because these are a divinational tool and they belong together. They cannot be separated. So you cannot decide and go, I'm getting rid of this. I am going to sell this book. I don't need it anymore. I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell the box as well. Somebody might like this box. Put it into a little collage for kids stuff. So they can put little kitties' toys in the box and make a cute box. Not a good idea. Best thing what you guys can do, if you just want the cards, another deck, you want the deck but not the box, or the book, is probably have a place, in your cupboard. Have a place in your cupboard where you keep the box and the cards, and you store it in there. Because that way they're not being separated, and that way the deck is not giving you bad luck. Because they're together, and if you have to pass them on, you can just get out your cupboard, get the box out of the cupboard, put the cards in the box, and Bob's your uncle, you're ready to send it. Because as I said, these cannot, be separated. They have to remain together. This person who I was dealing with said she got it from a friend, and a friend asked her to sell it. So at least I could smell crap from a mile off. I knew something wasn't right, and I said to her, you can't just sell the book. You have to sell them as a set. Because the simple fact is, it is a divinational tool. you're going to get bad luck. And if your friend gave you the book to sell, then your friend has put you in a very bad position. Because that bad luck travels. It travels. So whoever holds the book minus the cards, you're going to end up getting bad luck. Then she came around and go, oh, I don't know who the original owner is. So obviously it wasn't a friend. And seeing there was a price tag at the top here, I think that I think she probably bought it at a bookstore. And I can flog it off. To say the least, she's soon, got rid of me. And she also told me that she's going to think about putting it in the bin. Do not, guys, put them in the bin. Do not put it in the bin. Do not burn them. Do not destroy them in any way. And because, this is a delicate tool, it might be a good idea to keep it away from kids as well. The only reason why I say that is because these deck, all of this stuff, they can't get damaged. And you do not want little kiddies coming around with a felt tip pen and start drawing, on the cards. Or drawing in the book. I know kids will be kids, so it'd be better to have it high up. Because the best analogy to describe tarot or oracle, and same with Ouija boards, and to an extent, pendulums, is pretty much you treat it like a gun. Treat it like a gun. And if, for example, you get rid of the box, and you get rid of the book, you get rid of it, but you keep the deck, it's going to function just like a gun. And what I mean by that is like having a gun without a safety. If you have a gun without the safety on and you're playing around with it, someone's going to get shot. Someone's going to get shot and someone's going to get hurt. Same with Oracle and Tarot. If you get rid of the box or you damage the deck in any way, it's pretty much the equivalent of having a gun without the safety. It's going to go off and someone's going to get hurt. It's going to affect, it could affect your health. It could affect your finances. It could affect your employment. It could affect your family, your love life, luck in general, your car breaking down for no particular reason, inexplicable accidents occurring. This can happen with divinational tools if you mistreat them. That's why they have to remain together. You cannot separate them. I know some people have put on there, which I strongly disagree with, say that with decks like this one, you got a nice border, that people chop off the borders to customize the deck. Do not do it. Mainly because, once again, you damage the deck. I know with second-hand, cards, if I ever end up finding a deck with the borders being chopped off, or I discover there's a border been chopped off, I'll be talking to the previous owners and demand my money back and return the deck. And go, I don't need them, I don't want them, I want my money back because these decks been damaged. I believe that this was, you led me to believe that this was an intact deck. However, the borders have been chopped off. I need it to be intact. Because I don't want that bad luck. I don't want it. So chopping off borders is not exactly a good idea. How is the proper way to dispose of a deck the deck doesn't agree with you? You can sell them or you can give them away. But when you're selling or giving away a deck, someone must want them. I would not even recommend if you knew somebody who loved dealing with oracle decks or tarot decks, and you know it's their birthday coming up and you want to get rid of it, so you think, oh, I'm getting rid of it. It's my friend's birthday next week. I'm going to wrap it up. She won't know any different. And give it to her as a Christmas present or a birthday present. No. Nuh-uh. These are not something you wrap up for somebody's present. I have heard people doing that, you know, sending decks, even brand new decks, as presents. Do not do that. When it comes to divinational tools, whether it is oracle, tarot, pendulums, or Ouijas, do not give them up for your best friend, or for your parent, or for your child. Do not do that, guys, because you're choosing that deck for them, and you might not disagree with them. And as I said, this is like equivalent to having a gun. And when it comes to decks, you know, also you think of the, like, say with age. The age of the person. When is somebody old enough to use divinational tools? When are they old enough to use tarot or oracle? If you ask me, the correct age for that is when a child has got the maturity and the knowledge to know how to respect the deck. So, would I recommend you giving this to like a 5-year-old? No. If you give this to a 5-year-old, I say it'd probably be about a month before the deck, you know, gets lost and gets strewn all over the place. And I reckon it'd be less than 24 hours before there'd be doodles all over the deck. It would not be good for a 5-year-old. But someone who is like 15, when they're a little bit understanding it and they understand what the responsibilities are of the deck, then once again, they can have a deck. But if you're going to gift someone an oracle deck, or you want to, if you know they really like oracle decks, they love tarot decks, my best suggestion is go to a metaphysical store and see whether you can buy a gift voucher. Say a gift voucher, say of $50. And then give that gift voucher to them, because then they can personally go in there and properly pick out the deck for them. Because you can't do it. That's the only way you can give these away as a Christmas present or a birthday present, is via a gift card. Because then they are choosing the deck, not you. So when you give them away, they said, you can either sell them or you can give them away. But regardless of you're selling them or give them away, somebody must want them. You cannot force these onto someone. You cannot trick someone to buy them either. They have to be fully aware of what the deck is. And they have to be fully aware and understand that it is an oracle deck. And I would even recommend that if you're selling these, you know, secondhand, there's nothing wrong with selling them. These are all secondhand with the exception of the Austin Egyptian here. This is the only one which is brand new. That, if you're selling these and you gotta sell them, you know, for whatever reason, the person, you know, must be aware of it. And it'd be a good idea, that's just my personal opinion, is actually takes, you know, a photo of the deck, you know, show them that it is with the deck, with the book and the box. show that the deck is complete. You know, you do not want to separate them. When it comes to Ouijas, how do you get rid of a Ouija board? Like with me, I would never, ever, ever have a Ouija board. I've had bad experiences with Ouija boards. And because of that, I don't deal with Ouija boards. Even though I know a lot of people think I do deal with Ouija boards because I know things what people don't. But that's because I use other tools. I use pendulums and I use my gifts. And that's how I know things. Because, you know, I also got a spirit guide who's in charge of that. She's a cute little thing. Very cute. Mischievous, but very cute. And she tells me things. And it can be quite scary when she does things. And a lot of people think that's, you know, who I speak to, you know, in regards to my guides. And they said that with clear cognizance, because this is what it is, clear cognizance, or clear cognitions, that this is actually very, very typical. Because to say the least, with my spirit guide, she's very, very young. Incredibly young. Very, very young. So, but, you know, like I said, she's a little cutie, she's a little sweetie. And like some of my spirit guides do, I'm a little bit on the weird side. But, you know, it's kind of weird. And only one of my spirit guides, you know, getting a bit off topic, one, I actually met a medium, and he actually met one of my spirit guides. And, because he thought it was a person who was coming around, but this person's very, very vocal. And he's one of my protectors, he's one who likes talking. He likes talking, and he likes to be a guardian. And, you know, he's one of those guys I'm going to have a bit of a chat. He's an American. And one thing, you know, getting a bit off topic, it is not unusual for empaths to have that. You know, it is not, you know, unusual, because according to him, he said he saw a ton of people around me, which is not unusual for medium empaths, because we have to, you know, we have to have an army. We've got too much going on and all that. But anyway, getting back to things, getting a bit sidetracked. You know, if you want to get rid of Ouija boards, do not burn them. That is the worst thing you can do with Ouija boards, guys, is burning them. Do not take your Ouija board because you had a bad experience and you had a demon come up. I actually know what that thing's name is. I'm not mentioning his name. I don't want him here. I don't want anything to do with him. Because usually if he comes up, and he comes up no matter where you are in the world, do not think, oh right, I don't know how to stuff him up. I'll burn it. Not a good idea, guys. I think the best way of getting rid of it is, once again, you treat them like an oracle deck or a tarot deck. Give it to somebody who wants it. That's the only way you can get rid of with a Ouija. However, if that has happened, that you have contacted the demon, I would definitely advise that when you're advertising it, tell them that you have had contacts with a demon. because he's already aware of that board, and he's going to keep going up and up and up and up. And just because you got rid of him, the poor unfortunate person you sold it to will be getting it too. And we know that for a fact. And there are some people out there who deliberately collect boards that have been visited by the demon. If you ask me, they're nuts. You don't want to deal with the dark side. But yeah, if you have to, you have to. But usually when you get a demon on the deck, on the board, that is pretty much a dead board. Pretty much useless. It's already useless. It will work. But with Ouija boards, it's pretty much, having a Ouija board in the home, using Ouija, it's like leaving your front door open, putting a sign in the front door, saying, all is welcome, please feel free to come in whenever you want. You don't know who you're going to get come in your house. You do not know. And that is exactly the premises with Ouijas. That there are certain ways of communicating, with Ouija. That you must open it and you must close it. And it is the same when you're dealing with pendulums. That if you've got a pendulum and you're communicating with the spirit world, imagine a bright white light saying, you're in a bright white light, I'm opening communications, you can communicate with me now, and then go ahead. But when you're finished saying the communications is now closed, you're no longer allowed to communicate with me, you're no longer allowed to communicate to anyone who's witnessing this, who are here, or who have to deal with this, you can no longer communicate with us. Communication is now closed, you can't contact me, you're closed. It's all closed, no more contact. And imagining the white light closing the door and you're done. I know for a fact that this works, especially with pendulums. Like the pendulum could be swinging, back and forth. But as soon as it closed, the pendulum literally just stops at dead, comes to a dead stop. It could be like swinging like no one's business, but as soon as the door's closed, it just go and stop. Because the communication is closed and they can't communicate. And the worst thing you can do is leaving the door open. If you do not close it with Ouija or with pendulums, you're just asking for trouble. You're asking for trouble because you don't know who's going to come through. You do not know. Yes, it could be family. Yes, it could be friends. It could be a friendly spirit who hangs around. But, on the other hand, it could be something very nasty and can even be demonic. What comes through. And they can come through pendulums and with Ouija. So be very, very careful. What happens if your pendulum goes poof? And what I mean by poof, I mean it completely destroys. Like self-destruct. I've heard from, some people that the best thing to do if the pendulum goes poof is to bury it. Because it's the pendulum's way of saying, I want to return to the earth. I want to return back to the earth. But with me, I think that I do agree with that. However, with things, if they destroy, things like pendulums, destroy the chain snaps, or things like that, It is the stone's way, or the pendulum's way of saying, I'm not meant for you. I'm not right for you. You're not ready for me yet. I don't want to be with you. And poof. So that's what happens. Also, what happens if your deck vanishes? You know, with Oracle Tarot, does that mean you're going to get a bunch of bad juju if you lose a deck? If a deck somehow gets lost? The answer is no. It is not bad luck if you lose a deck. Now, for example, if I get up tomorrow morning, this deck's completely vanished, I'm not going to get bad luck because this deck decides to disappear on me. Excuse me. Because it's a deck's way of saying, I'm not right for you, you don't need me, I'm going. And they will do it. Same as some crystals would do the same thing. It's like lapis lazuli. That stone likes disappearing. Because it kind of got a bit of an attitude, it's got an attitude. If it doesn't think you're worthy of it, it will get up and get lost. It's pretty much saying, you're not ready for me, I don't want you, go and get knotted, I'm going somewhere else. And that's the last time you see that piece of jewellery. Or that stone. If that's a real nice stone, it's a real pretty stone, lapis lazuli, but it will go walkies. So you just be very, very careful. And when you buy decks, you choose decks that, call you. Like all of these decks, called me one way or another. And especially like with this one, if you've seen my review for this particular deck up here, the Shaman's Oracle. That deck truly chose me because I thought I had lost it. And what I mean by that, because he was second hand, they told me that someone else was buying him. And someone just got in there before I did and bought him. And I thought, obviously, it wasn't meant for me. It totally wasn't meant for me. Yes, I like the deck. Yes, I felt connection with it, but obviously, it wasn't right. But when I came up to buying them, the person didn't turn up and no longer wanted it. And to me, that was a sign that this deck was meant for me. And I took them. And, I love all of my decks. I love them, and they're gonna grow. Like, tomorrow, I'll be probably picking up 3 tomorrow. Two of them, I can't exactly remember what they were. I can't remember. I know one was a tarot deck. One was a tarot. And one was Oracle. I just can't remember what they were. But that tarot and Oracle deck, comes from the same people who sold me this one. Yeah, this one. And this one. And the other one is a new seller. And he's selling me the whole thing. He's not giving my cards a divorce. Another thing was also a good idea when you get a deck, especially if it's second hand, is check the deck. Check the deck and clear the deck. Check the deck, you just pretty much, flick through. Flick through, have a look at the cards. Like such, just have a look at all of them. Study the cards. Because, for example, with life purposes, I've got 2 cards too many. According to what she said, it was a brand new deck and she never used it. I don't believe it. By oath, I do not believe it. That's second hand, and somewhere along the line, somewhere, There's a deck out there missing 2 cards. I don't, but like that deck is complete. It's fully complete. So it's not a bad juju. But I've got 2 cards that do not belong in the deck. And as I said, that's the reason why you look for the cards. And I actually told her that you got too many. If, you know, did she have another one? Another deck? And she said no. So you cannot really do much about that. How do you know if you got too many cards? Do you count them going 1, 2, 3? Actually, no. Just like any deck, including the normal playing deck, you know, with hearts, clubs, diamonds and spades. You know, or Uno cards. They never ever double up. You never double up. So you just look at them. Just look at the decks, and if you got 2 of the same particular card, you know it's doubled up. That is an extra card. That's the reason why I have 2 cards on the top there, which I automatically, if I'm doing a reading with that deck, I put to the side, because I don't need 2 of the same. So, yeah, you know, you check that, and also it's good to touch the cards as well, because you're putting your energy in it, allowing them to get used to you. So yeah, that's pretty much how you treat them. You know, you do not, you know, when you're getting rid of them, they have to remain together. Do not throw this in the bin, guys. Do not burn them. Do not destroy them. Do not put them in front of your car's wheel and turn them into a pancake. Do not do that, guys. Don't. Alright, and if you want to clear a deck, because it's always good, even if you get a deck which is brand new. Because people have touched it. Even if it's brand new, has plastic on it, hasn't been touched by anyone. Along the way, when they were sorting the deck, when it was being manufactured, there would have been people touching the deck. Whether you like it or not. And the best way you deal with that, when you get a deck, regardless if it's new or second hand, is with your left hand, because your left hand is receiving, that's what you're receiving. You need to receive the energy in the deck. And the way you receive it is quite simple. Hold the deck in your hand, like such, and just tap. Because this is giving out. This is receiving hand, this is giving out. It doesn't matter if you're left-handed, if you're lefty, if you're left-handed. Your left hand is still receiving. That's when you're receiving. So all you gotta do is tap. You can tap like that, or you can just tap. As long as there's a tap, that energy is coming in. I know those decks want to really clear. And it's also sometimes it's good to rub around the corners as well, feeling the cards, because then the cards are getting used to you. Alright, if you like this video, please like, subscribe. Have a great day, and blessed be.